There we go. Now we live. What a good intro to a Tuesday morning. Welcome to, I don't know what we're going to call this yet. It's kind of still evolving, and I think moon musings or something around the moon is quite apt. How are you this morning, Alexe?
I'm okay. I'm having a bit of a strange morning technology-wise,
Yeah.
but I am okay. Thank you. How are you, Michelle?
I'm okay. I'm good. Yes, we just went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. We'll figure this technology thing out, and we will get it streaming to Universal Movement YouTube eventually.
Eventually.
Today is, well, we're approaching the full moon, aren't we? On the 17th of October.
Yes.
I think just after midday in the UK, so early hours of the morning in the US and all those things. It's a hunter's moon. It's in Aries. It's the last of 4 supermoons in a row. Something like that.
Yes, the third.
Yeah.
The third
Yeah.
one. And this one is going to be particularly potent because it's a third supermoon in a row, but also it's the one that's going to be closest to the Earth. So we're going to be feeling this fiery energy that it brings for us all. So yes.
Yeah. And we have been through quite a lot energetically and astrologically over the past couple of weeks. There's a tiny little second moon in the sky as well, an asteroid. That's joined the party, so it's all interesting.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also this moon, there's also Pluto, which is making a huge exit finally over the next 5 weeks. And we're in that kind of, it's doing 2 more movements, and one is during the time of this full moon, and it's really in its last shadow space. And that's going to be really interesting for us all, because that's really asking us to finally cut all these ties from things, really get rid of anything structural that we don't want anymore. And this is also what this Aries new moon is asking us to do. It's asking us to really step into our power now. Like, it's asking us to let go, be brave. Otherwise, things can kind of, without sounding dramatic, kind of crumble around us. It's better to take action yourself rather than waiting for things to happen. So if you need to leave a situation, if you need to leave a job or relationship or something that's calling you to do that, now's the right time to really take that action, as scary as it might be. And it's important for us to let go of this and really step into this new energy, which is going to be coming in the next few weeks, which is quite exciting.
And you're talking about Pluto. Pluto was kind of briefly entered Aquarius in the beginning of the year. It's recently gone retrograde into Capricorn. It's now, stationary, I think.
Yes,
Capricorn.
Yeah, and that will move again this full moon, and then finally at the end of the 5 weeks.
Yeah, on the 19th of November, just before my birthday. So I'm interested to see what that's going to bring. It's an interesting time, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's autumn. So it's all about letting go at this time. Mythologically, this time's also connected to Hecate. She was the goddess of witchcraft and spells and magic and the underworld and the moon. And she had this aspect of 3. I'm fascinated by the triskelion, for example, at the moment, which is also similar to her representation of that goddess maiden,
crone.
Crone. It's the birth, transformation, death, all those things. It's all in 3s. And she was the one that held the lantern, or she had these 3 lanterns. She's also the protector of the crossroads, and all those things. So it's interesting to bring all these aspects together and see how they overlap, and kind of bring us a similar message.
Yes, indeed. And also, it's, you know, it becomes very, very interesting when you start to use like the lunar goddesses within your work and so on, you know, if that's your calling. Especially, you know, they ask us to go within and really, you know, dive deep into those emotions. And this moon is going to bring up quite a lot of emotions. It's not the easiest moon. It's probably the most difficult one that we'll have this year. But there's also a silver lining on things. We've got Jupiter, which is bringing lots of luck to various signs. And yes, I think it'd be great if we can go into as well the forecasts for each sign, so they can actually see what area of their life is going to be shone a light on with this full moon energy. But when it comes to our self-care, I can just give you a few tips on that. So Aries is all about passion. We should be looking into our lives like, what are we feeling passionate about? What direction do we want to go in? It's also, full moons are a time where it's completion. So it's about completing something and really thinking about those next steps, taking action. Aries is all about taking action. It's Aries is the start of the astrological year, where we go in with a bang to after winter. And that's really important for you to understand, that this can be a time to take big action, I feel. When it comes to our self-care, Aries is ruler of the head, and it's ruler of the upper, like the upper jaw, also the eyes. So we want to be protecting those eyes. So what I believe is that the moon shines a light on certain areas of the body when it becomes full, and those are the areas that we can be looking at to give ourselves some nice self-care for that time of the month. So being ruler of the head, you may want to go for a nice head massage, or get a haircut. You may also want to really do some meditation all around letting go. I will support that. As you know, I always do my full moon circles, where we do this and we visit all the kind of areas that Aries or the sign would bring us. And yes, also Mars is ruler of all the muscles in the body. So you may be feeling some extra aches and pains, and it's a great time to go and do a workout, you know, like really kind of kickstart that as well, because that's this peak energy is when our energy is at a high, and we do need to move our bodies. A lot of us stay in our head too much, and we need to get into our body. And this is a great opportunity to start something like that with this full moon.
Okay, cool. And this is for all zodiac signs. It's not just, you know, Aries is now being illuminated to the head or the jaw. It's funny that you say that. My son plays rugby, and he played on Friday and Sunday, and both times there was something with his eyes. You know, it was like it's an interesting aspect.
Yes. So, you know, if you are getting something that you know are calling to check your eyes, go into an optician's. You know, also another thing, Aries is the sort of sign, it's the hottest of all the signs. It's the most fire. And this also means that they get through things very quickly. It's a very fast energy that doesn't always resonate with other signs, but it's how we're feeling, like we're going a mile a minute. So taking time just to be aware of that. But also Aries can burn out very quickly, because they kind of go for it. And then if they start to get headaches, which a lot of Aries can get headaches, that is your telltale sign to start to rest. And I do recommend, if you are feeling tired, to rest around this full moon and just take it in your stride. But if you're feeling energized, then go and do a full body workout.
Yeah. a very fiery thing to do.
Yes, it is indeed.
Yeah. Okay, let me see how I can share some of these beautiful slides. There we go.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to move on to the next one. Sorry, I still need to figure out how to exactly kind of get this sharing screen on StreamYard thing right. And now I've lost them. Can you believe it?
So I'm going to be doing a forecast for each of the signs.
Not that one. There we go.
Okay. So Aries is actually, you're going to be in your home house, which is the first house, which is all to do with the self. It's actually your body as well. If you think about it, the first house is kind of like where we enter into the world, and it's all to do with our appearance, our first impressions. So you may be wanting to kind of totally step into your power and change up your wardrobe, get a haircut, enter into a totally new you, which is a great thing. But as I mentioned, you may also be feeling very tired, and do listen to yourself and rest at this time. That is highly, highly important as well. So then we move on to Pisces, which is in the second house. And this is all to do with your values, your financial situation, your material possessions, self-worth, and your kind of personal resources. So this is the sort of thing where you can be maybe looking at what kind of resources you've got, wanting to invest in certain things, but this is your personal money. It's not somebody else's. It's really what you have and what you want to do with it. And thinking about, financially, how you can gain more. Maybe you want to start up little projects to be able to have a side hustle or something like that. Maybe you're really shifting your ideas around your values, what kind of values, especially over the last years as well, with Pluto coming into it. So that might be on your mind, that you want to change that. Also, we have the third house, which will be Aquarius, which is everything to do with your communication. This is also siblings, brothers, sisters, short journeys. And what's interesting about the third house as well is it's not just verbal communication or texting, whatever, it's also written communication. So there may be some contracts going on, there may be things going on which are coming to an end, or you're ready to step into a new and you want to kickstart something, like a writing project or something to do where you want to communicate more to your audience, that sort of thing. So then we have the fourth house. That's the...
That didn't go right.
The fourth house is all to do with the home and family. And this is a time where you can actually be reconnecting to family values. Things might be going on within the home. Maybe you want to move home. Maybe that's the right time to move home and make that decision, or you are moving home, or maybe it's something to do with relationships are moving and shifting. Maybe you need to let go of some relationships and also nurture the ones that are great, and nurture the things in the house and in your home, your stability, which is working for you. If there are kind of things of crisis and so on, it's important to look at what we do have, what our security resources are, because usually those are quite stable. You are your home, remember, you yourself. Okay. And that's for Capricorn. Then we have Sagittarius in the fifth house, which is everything to do with pleasure. And Sagittarius is really happy in this house because they're a very playful sign anyway. So playing with children, having fun, maybe starting up a new hobby. Maybe there's something you always wanted to do. Now's the time to actually go and do that. And you may also want to start dating, have a bit of fun there, and get out and just have a great time. That's what I recommend. Also, Scorpio is in the 6th house, which is an interesting one for Scorpio because they're kind of going into the depths more internally about thinking about their daily routines and their health habits. Things like how the 6th house is the house of health. So, but it's to do with how our daily routine can impact our health in general. And so they may be wanting to switch up their routine, or even looking back to where you were 6 months ago when you had the new moon in Aries, what kind of intentions you actually set for yourself around your health and fitness, and where you are with those. Like, how has the last 6 months been? And if it's not working for you, now it's the time that you can really go in and change that and start to make yourself those self-care goals and go for it. Then I think we'll have the 7th house. Trying to work backwards in the signs. And that is all to do with yourself, but also your partner. So working relationships, love relationships, marriage, collaborations. Okay, so there may be something blowing up right now which isn't right, that you feel that you need to get away from, and this would be a good time to step away. On the other hand, it can be the total opposite. It can be very much harmony. See that this is growing in the right direction, nourishing, beautiful relationship. Also, it's linked to kind of justice and diplomacy, so that can be quite it can be a powerful time, especially when you have to take your own emotions, involved, as well as somebody else's during a time like a full moon. So yes, good to be aware of where you are with others and who you need to, not, I don't want to say get rid of, but who you need to leave behind and who you need to travel forward with. So Virgo in the 8th house of transformation. This is a great one for Virgo because Virgo can be very concerned about their health. And this one is really for you to understand that, you can transform and you can look at ways to transform your thoughts and your internal processing of things, how you speak to yourself and so on. Also, it's to do with taxes, inheritance, taboos. You may be wanting to go inward at this time and really thinking about, not necessarily, darker side of things, but how you can shed light into those areas of your life. And that is important. Also, we have Leo in the 9th house. 9th house is all to do with long distance travel, philosophy. You may be planning a big trip, or you may be just about to go on one, and maybe it's something that can really change your life. It's a life-changing trip for you. I also recommend that learning, it's a great time for learning. Also look where you've come in the last 6 months. What have you learned in the last 6 months from that new moon in Aries to this point? Is there a course that you've been on? How are you doing with that? Is there also a course you'd like to do, or something you'd like to take up and take those next steps to being where you want to be? Really taking stage with that for Leo is important. And the last few.
One day, hang on.
We're going to go into the 10th house, which I think is Cancer. 10th house is all to do with career, and for Cancerians in this house, there may be some really big shake-ups happening up for them for in their career. Usually within themselves to make that decision. Maybe it's time to actually leave a job or to start a new one. It's going to be quite a powerful time for them, and an important time for them. Maybe there's things, they have to look at their achievements and their kind of public image, what they want to perceive to other people. And it's all around your career, and also maybe there's a boss, something involved with that as well. Recommend that you really journal on what you want and how you're taking those action steps to get there. It's all about taking those action steps now. So if you do need a plan, maybe if you want to start a new business or something, really find what you need to be able to do those things in the right way. Especially at this time with Capricorn, Pluto being in Capricorn, because it's all around structures. So it's really good. The next 5 weeks could be a great time to structure things for you. Then we have Gemini in the 11th house. For Geminis, this is actually quite a nice place to be, because obviously it's all to do with friendship and communication. So Gemini is really happy to be in there. You may want to think about communicating more or setting up communities, being even a leader within a community, really getting those communicative skills out there, things you need to say and do. It's really about now taking action towards good friendships and really a community that you can thrive in. Maybe you want to enter into another community or set one up. Also letting go of those friendships which aren't doing you any good, and being brave enough to actually do that. And lastly, we have Taurus, which is in the 12th house. Taurus, they might be going through quite a lot of dreams at the moment, because 12th house is linked to our sleep, and it's linked to how we recuperate. So this is really healing time for them. They need to rest and heal and take a step back and relax to be able to be aware of what can be brought forward, the life of their dreams, if you like. But yeah, it's very important for them to rest at this point and just get those downloads. And yeah, also it brings me on to just want to touch on Chiron. This moon is linked to Chiron, and this can bring to us a lot of past issues or wounds that we had. Just to give you an example, so Chiron is the wounded healer, which is an asteroid, and it's an area of the chart where we have something that's happened to us in the past, where we haven't necessarily healed from it fully. We're aware of it and we're okay with it, but we're never able to heal it to 100%. So because the moon is connected to this full moon may bring up some very kind of undercurrent emotional feelings linked to some of those issues you might have, or a situation you had in the past. That is your Chiron. And it's good to be aware of that, and maybe it's asking us to do the work to actually, heal certain areas. But this is a very healing time, and we can totally use this full moon to heal and take some time for ourselves and make sure we get some space and headspace. This is why I recommend meditations, yoga nidras, and why I hold the full moon circle as well, so people have a space to come and do that. But yeah, just keep that in mind, that Chiron is there to remind us there may be, for some people, it might be very sensitive at this time, and there may be some issues coming up.
And it's also very interesting to have a look at where Chiron was on your chart.
Yes.
It's on your natal chart to see if those things that are coming up is maybe connected to that aspect.
Yes, definitely, because it will be in a certain house, which is like your circumstances, and it will also be in a certain sign, which will give very big keys to understanding actually that's, you know, because sometimes some people don't know where, you know, an issue that happened years ago is actually still affecting them and so on. And there's work to be done there, or other people have had a trauma in their life, and this may bring up some emotion around that. But it's good to just know this and be, okay, I've still got this. I can get through this. I have actually started to offer mini readings where people can come and have a mini reading with me, and we look at their moon for this month, and we can look at their Chiron as well if they wish, if they want to know more on that.
Perfect. And this is where you can find Alexe and all the amazing things. There's courses, mini courses, there's Secrets of the Moon, there's yoga nidras. Are you doing a yoga nidra this full moon as well?
Yes, I will be doing a practice especially for this moon, and we will be going into Chiron a little and understanding how we can heal from that. So it's a special full moon all around Aries, and obviously I bring in the body astrology, so we'll probably be doing some nice face yoga or something like that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I feel more grounded just by the awareness. You know, for me, everything is grounded in awareness. If we know what's happening around us, we can understand what's happening within us.
I love that. That is so true. It's so true. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the full moon, and
yes, and you.
We will chat again next month. Well, in between as well, but live next month.
Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.